Did anything eventful happen?
Well, I lost to our teacher, so that was fun. But in terms of big events, I don't know. Sean?
Yeah, I lost some games as well.
To your teacher, who's that?
He's what, Sean, is he a 4-dan or 5-dan?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
At least 3.
At least 3. I played 4 stones against him and I just got destroyed. So
Oh wow. Do you have like teaching sessions with him every week, or
no, he comes
Just
in
whenever you
whenever he
play?
wants, but he always reviews our games with us after we lose. So
Oh, okay. Has that been helping?
I don't know if it's been helping. The mentality psychologically, I would say it has been, because he only said that I only had 2 errors in my game yesterday, which is actually a really big improvement. Usually I have like 50.
Oh,
So he said
how
that
did
if
you
only I
lose?
defended this area and that area, then everything would have been an even game. So
Oh wow, that's actually pretty nice to hear. Just 2 errors.
well,
So I guess
4
you
stone
gotta
handicap, but yes, 2 errors. Yeah.
2 errors. Well, if you have 2 errors and you have a 4-stone handicap,
Yeah.
there's probably a lot more errors that are
Well,
not being
maybe.
mentioned, right?
Maybe.
Well, you guys. I gotta get out there. It's just it's a drive for me. But is the like, are there enough people showing up every week?
Yeah. Yeah, we
Yeah.
usually get at least 5 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lately, we've been getting some more, I think, Sean, like around 6 to 8, somewhere
Mhm.
around there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where do they
that's been quite a
usually
turnout.
where do they usually find out like that you guys are
I
there?
Probably baduk.club is the most common way people find out, and then occasionally
Mhm.
people find out on meetup.com.
On Meet. Oh, you have a meetup up.
Even word by
Yep.
mouth too, because one of our club members has been bringing in a lot of new players. So
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, sometimes it just takes that one person who's like super social to
yeah.
bring in more players. Well, you're listening to Starpoint, the show about Go for Go fans away from the board. Tin, are you still playing a lot of AI?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How's your progress? You want to give an update?
Oh man. Progress. Let's see. It's actually been really good. It's been a big improvement in a lot of my games.
What AI are you playing right now?
A lot of them.
Oh, all sorts.
I switch it up every day or two. So I'll be on OGS. Mainly it's OGS AIs, and I'll play between the different bots there. And then I'll go to the Just Go program, switch it up there. Crazy Stones, I'll switch it up there. So it's always a new style that I'm playing up against, just to keep things a little bit more interesting. So yeah.
Do you have a favorite AI?
No, I don't like any of them.
You don't like any of them?
Especially as they get stronger, they really capitalize on my weaknesses, and sometimes they don't punish me enough, which I kind of feel like it happens. But as they're getting stronger, I can't play my DDK mind tricks on them. Like, I can't be sneaky. I actually have to play good. So that's a really good training tool, I think, to improve myself. So yeah.
There are certain things that AI just will not like fail on.
Yeah.
And like a human being will falter at certain things, but
yeah.
Sean, you don't really play much AI, do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I'm with you. But Tin is our AI experiment, so we'll see how he turns out.
Yeah, I'm doing great. So
okay, good. Last episode, I think I talked about something that I called Scorched Earth Go.
Ooh.
Or I don't know if it was last episode or two episodes ago. But I was wondering if what you guys had thought about it. So basically, Scorched Earth Go is, when I play Go, sometimes I realize that I'm trying to make sure everything dies as much as possible, and every kind of territory is as optimal for me. And that sounds like a normal thing to do and go. Like if you want to kill something, you should be able to kill. Like I'm not talking about like endless dragon chasing, but like every opportunity you get to kill something, or every opportunity you get to take some territory, you take it, because what's mine is mine, and you want to just build up on your lead as much as possible. This is what I'm calling scorched earth go, but I'm thinking maybe I should hold back on certain things if I don't need them. Do you have any thoughts on that?
What would be if you hold back? Like there's going to be a biggest move on the board, right? So like if you hold back, you're not choosing fewer points, right?
Okay, it's more of a strategy thing. So let's say that you have the example I think I gave in the episode might have been, let's say you have a group that you think you can kill, like, and if you kill it, you'll 100% win. And then if you don't kill it, you're already winning, but just, by a decent margin. And you can risk a little bit by killing it, because it may not look like a risk at the time, but a lot of the time when we play and we think that we can just like do something, something just completely changes on the board, right? Mm-hmm. So that's the kind of situation I'm talking about.
So is this like how you like to play lately in your games with against other players?
It's something that I don't know if I like to, but it always comes out of my play. So I realize that I'm always trying to take as much as possible, versus evaluating like, what do I need in order to win?
Well, I could say, just from my recent experience, one of our players, he is very big into that style where he wants to take everything. He's very greedy in his play style, and he's a lot stronger than me. And we had an even game, I think, a couple of weeks ago, and because I knew that was his play style, a lot of times when he is trying to take everything, he does leave behind a lot of weaknesses, and so. And this it ties in with what we were just talking about earlier with me playing against AI, is that AI also does this quite heavily. So I've become more accustomed to kind of not turtling up, but being more defensive in my play style. And when I see an opponent play like that, I capitalize heavily with that style, where I can take advantage of their weaknesses, break apart all of their groups. And, the game pretty much went into my favor, and he's about 4 or 5 stones stronger than me. So, that play style, it works for a good amount of people. But if you're not watching your weakness, it's like a double-edged sword, in my opinion.
Yeah. So here's the thing. So from his perspective, I imagine that he doesn't think he's leaving those weaknesses behind. No. Like those. Yeah. Yep. So like for him, he's just picking the big points. Like it's not like he's like purposefully leaving weaknesses behind in order to take other points or anything. But it's like his greed is kind of blinding him, and so that he's neglecting those weak points. And so from like the first person perspective, let's say that you have a tendency to go for certain things that you don't need, and that's blinding you to a certain weakness that you have, and you're leaving those weaknesses behind, and you cannot fix those because all you're doing is trying to take more and more instead of trying to just do exactly what's necessary to win the game. Do you have any experience with that, Sean? Do you have like do you have a greedy style? I don't think that you do.
No, I kind of have a ungreedy style. I have, when I was in the lower ranks, I was too passive, so that was kind of my bias. And now I've learned to attack. I mean, part of this comes down to reading ability. If you can outread the other person, then you probably can kill a lot more. And so as my reading has gotten better, I'm more willing to fight. but I'm still not like a huge risk taker. Unless I see that I'm definitively losing, then I'll try random, huge risks. But often by then it's kind of too late.
So then, did you have less of a problem with like that common problem that people have, where people see large groups of large areas of influence and they feel the need to destroy it right away because it's just scary? Like, you know how you kind of are tempted to do that a lot in the beginning, where you just don't like any kind of large area, and then later on you realize, oh, there's things you can do later on, things change, and you can kind of adjust.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I do still try and destroy large areas, but like often there will be like a moyo that's kind of carved out on maybe 3 sides or 2 sides. And so then you draw a line on the open side and try and play maybe right inside that line or something like that. I feel like I've run into that a lot in the last few months. And it's kind of a weird balance to sort of look at the situation and say, what if I go deep? Or, what's the best way to attack those moyos?
I think that situation still kind of scares me, and maybe that's part of the reason why I like playing for influence, because I feel confused whenever there's like a giant moyo and I don't know what to do. I saw a Reddit post the other day that kind of got a good amount of upvotes, and I thought it was an interesting post, so I'm going to read it. Feel free to interrupt if there's anything you want to comment on. But the Reddit post was called, "I like everything about Go except playing." And the user says, "This may sound weird, but I'm trying to get some perspective. I love the game. I've read books on it. I've listened to podcasts." Well, there's not that many podcasts out there for Go, so maybe a Start Point listener. I've done Sumego. I regularly visit the subreddit. I've read Hikaru no Go. I've watched AlphaGo. I've even played not too many IRL games at my local club, but life got busy / I got apathetic and it's been a while. I love how simple its rules are and yet how deep the game is. I love the black and white stones. I love the names of the shapes. I love the culture around it. I think it may be the greatest game of all time. I have a lot of admiration for people who reach Dawn status. And yet it's like I can't bring myself to play a game online. Every time I think of playing, I'll just choose a video game instead. If I do actually play a game against the AI, it's like I can't get invested or get myself to actually try, and I'll just stop after a dozen moves. If I think about playing a human opponent, I'll ask myself, do I really want to devote the next hour to this? Because I'll feel bad quitting against a human. Or when I'm doing Sumego and it's a tough problem, I'll just give up and think, this is stupid. Like I said above, I went to my local Go club a number of times, probably around a year ago, and remember enjoying myself. But even then, I haven't been back, and if I'm being honest, I can't really blame a busy schedule on that. Obviously, parts of me wants to play. Otherwise, why would I feel so conflicted? Or is this just a case of liking the idea of being a Go player more than actually playing Go? And if that's the case, why does it make me feel disappointed in myself? So, I feel like some of this definitely rings true for me, but some of this not as much. I have been in this mode lately where I don't feel like playing Go, and I play Red Dead Redemption 2 instead. So I definitely get where this person is coming from. And I love all the stuff around Go, like all the Hikaru no Go, AlphaGo, and all that stuff. But sometimes you just don't feel like playing. But for me, what happens, I think, is like there's this like barrier between playing, and when I'm in a game, I realize I really enjoy it. Have you guys experienced this at all? Like this kind of like, I love Go, but I don't like playing Go kind of. I don't know if it's, I think it may be different for active club player mentality.
Yeah, my one thought I have for this person is maybe try 13 by 13 because it's shorter. And I know we've had someone come to the club who basically only played 13 by 13, and so they had to like get into the swing of 19 by 19 because that's what we played at the club. I think sometimes, my interest in playing Go ebbs and flows. I kind of lately where I'm at is that playing at the club sort of gives me my fix, and that I'm not super interested in playing outside of the club. But I'm sure at some point that will change, and I'll get more interested in, playing online and stuff.
What about before the club? What was your fix then? I know it's been a while.
Yeah, I think I played online, and what would happen is I would just play on and off. I'd play for a little while, and then I would just kind of stop for a long time, and then I'd kind of remember the game and think, oh, I should check that out again, and kind of come back to it. So I can definitely understand this idea of not liking playing versus being interested in the game. And in one sense, I would say there's nothing wrong with that, right? You shouldn't have to feel bad about that. If you do want to be a player and maybe you feel bad because you're not like fulfilling something that you do want to fulfill, then there's different ways to address that, like playing 13 by 13 and trying to like make yourself do it, kind of like other things that we have to do that we don't want to do. But
that's so funny because it's a game that it's like you kind of treat it like a chore, right?
Yeah. Well, if you feel like you need to do that, right? So if someone is just a Go enthusiast, they like reading the books and learning about the game, but not necessarily playing, that can be okay. That can be fine,
Yeah. Have you, a little off topic, but have you guys heard of flyordie.com?
No.
It's it's a Go server, or I don't know if it's a Go server. It's like some website and it has a Go server, but it's like ancient, and I think the most popular format on that website is 13 by 13, and that's like been my small foray into 13 by 13. But what's funny about it is like the stones have these like ridiculous animations. When you I think one of you is fire, one of you is ice, and when you capture the stones, they like burn up or something like that. A number of like people online have played on that website, but it's kind of funny. I definitely relate to the feeling of like forcing myself to play. It's funny because it's like a game that we like, and like it shouldn't be something we force ourselves to play and feel like a chore. But I think it's just like there's this overall initial hurdle sometimes especially when I haven't been playing regularly. It feels a little more daunting to get back into it. I'm like scared to find out what I'll find out about myself. But I've been through this mentality for, like many times, especially in the beginning. I think that was like my biggest hurdle to improving to the next level is not playing enough, right? Like I would just read Go books and play correspondence games, and it would just be very like I would be nervous to play a game. And eventually when I got to the point where I forced myself to play a lot more and not care so much about losing, not care so much about what happens during the game, and just make sure I get my reps in, that's when I really was able to get into it. And whenever I do that, when I'm in the game and I start playing, it's a lot easier to play another one, and it's a lot easier to like appreciate the actual game that I'm playing and find it interesting, because the game itself is actually super interesting, but you don't know until you get super into it. Tin, do you ever feel like you're forcing yourself to play Go so that you can get better, or is it always just like, oh, I really want to play right now? Did we lose him?
Are you on mute?
I haven't heard from him in a while.
Yeah.
Something that it has been a recent development in terms of the change in that mentality. So as I've been playing against more as I've been playing more games, whether it's against AI or another person, now I'm treating the game as more of like an overall problem rather than a psychological like setback. I know that's kind of confusing what I'm saying right now, but it's I'm coming into the game really not psyching myself out anymore. If I'm playing against, you know, one of the stronger players, I just treat it as, hey, this is like another AI. Let's play it. We're gonna lose or we're gonna win, but let's try to do the best we can, and let's try not to lose a big group too easily this time. At least that's the mentality shift now. So, am I still fearful? Yeah, but I'm more willing to play more games now, and I think that's a big thing, because you want to stay consistent in the game. Now, for the Reddit poster, it sounds like they are feeling overwhelmed by the game, which is what I felt initially when I first started to learn how to play. And it could just be that make small goals kind of thing. Really have very small goals. Say that you just want to play one game this week and work towards that. I think that's where a lot of us kind of feel like it's a chore, when we're kind of just playing just for the sake of playing and not really working towards something. But that could just be just my experience. But yeah, Sean?
No, I think that makes a lot of sense. And regarding the Sumego thing, I've definitely like stared at a problem and it just hurts my brain too much. Then I'm just like, I don't want to do this right now. And I think one of the solutions to that could be just doing easier problems. It's a lot more fun if you can solve the problems like with relative ease, and it actually does help train you. It's not like it's not doing anything. And then I was going to say something about one of the other things. Can't remember. But yeah, like I think just overall lowering the pressure levels of everything, like the game, like maybe the game time, right? Because I think that's why I was able to play so many games on Fox, is like just lowering the game time and just making it like an arcade game, like just cranking them out, not really thinking too much about it, letting myself lose, letting myself win.
No, yeah, I actually want to. I want to get to that, because you know the when you're playing so many games in a day on Fox, say that you're doing like blitz games, right? Do you feel like it's helping you improve your game, or is it just a way to kind of just play the game and just have fun? Like,
okay, well, first of all, I want to be clear. I did not play like a ton of blitz games on Fox in a single day. It was like more like I was very consistent with like an every night game for a while. Like I would play a game every night. There would be some days where I play 2 or 3 games. But it really was built around a mentality of improvement. And it did 100% help me improve a lot.
Nice.
But maybe plateaued after I hit 1 done on Fox.
So what was the time setting, if you don't mind me asking? Because there's so many time settings on Fox. So
it was the 5-minute one, I think. So I think the 3 main ones are like the 1 minute, the 5 minute, and the 20 minute. So the middle. One. Yeah. It's fun. It's just like because like on Fox it's so fast to get a game, and you know, it's funny. It's kind of funny because like you see so many different personalities on there. And then there's the children who play, the people who kind of just drag it on and completely like they're in a losing game and they just keep playing again and again and again. I feel like I've met a bunch of people online, even though I've never spoken a word to them. It's funny. I want to try something if you guys are up for it. So I wanted to see if you guys can play a game of Blind Go. So the way it would work is, obviously we're not going to just name coordinates, but we're not going to get super far into it, but just say what quadrant you're playing. So for example, you say, I play the 4-4 on the top right, And then I play this on the top, like 3/4 on the bottom left. And then I'll clarify which side, right? Like on the bottom left, is the bottom side 3/4 or the left side 3/4? And then as for whatever moves you play, like beyond the 4 opening moves, you can say something like, I approach with a large knight's move, or I approach with a light knight's move, I attach, right? Just use the language, right? To clarify what you're doing. And we'll see how far we can get. You guys up for that?
So are we supposed to be sweeping steps at the same time, or
what does that mean?
Okay, never mind. It's a reference to the live Hikaru no Go.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
the live Hikaru no Go. Oh,
yeah. I've only watched the Chinese adaptation one. Yeah,
I've only watched a few episodes in that one.
Yeah, no, it gets better later on, but they actually go to a Buddhist temple where it's like all Go masters, and one of the Go masters is a blind Go master. Mm-hmm. And so he told one of the characters that while you're playing, you got to sweep because this will help improve your mental clarity, kind of thing. So
it sounds very Karate Kid.
Yeah. Anyways.
Okay.
Wait, so are we playing 3-way Go, or is it just you two playing?
No. Or like, so how's this going? I will actually I'll be moderator, so I'll actually have an SGF open to see to make sure.
Oh, so it's me and Sean.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Sean.
How about Nigiri? How do we do the Nigiri?
Why don't you just tell us who's black and who's white?
Yeah,
I think that's the most fair.
I'm gonna flip a coin.
All right.
And since it's 2025, it's a virtual coin.
Cool.
How about 10 heads or tails?
I say tails.
Heads. Okay, so Sean, you are black, I guess.
All right.
Oh, no,
I am.
Yeah.
I will play 4/4.
4/4. Let's go top right. 4/4.
Yeah.
Oh wait, so are we supposed to stay in one quadrant, or we can go around the whole board?
No. You can go around the whole board. But I mean, you probably don't want to play like, oh, I want to play a knight's move away from Tengen.
Okay. Let me see. Bottom left quadrant 4/4.
Bottom right 4/4.
Top left 3/4. From facing the far side. 4. Far side.
Facing the far. Okay, is the 3/4 point up on the top side or the left side?
Top side.
Okay.
Like it's closer to the top side.
Yeah, so it's wide. It's instead of it's a wide.
So it's facing your own stone.
Yes.
I'm gonna high approach that on the 4th line.
Okay. I attach to it on the. I think if you high approach, that means it's a 3/5. I attach on the 3/5.
No, I meant like oh yeah, it is a 3/5. Yeah.
Right? 3/5. So I attach on the bottom 3/5.
Yeah. The attachment is 3/5.
Okay, I'm going to follow the Joseki, where I think I'm going to Hane on the outside.
Okay, I pull back 1 stone.
I will make a tiger's mouth.
And I'll
tiger's
do
mouth facing. Wait, hold on. Tiger's mouth facing.
Tiger's mouth facing the Joseki way, where it's sort of facing the center of the board.
Okay.
And then I do a 1 space jump.
Okay.
To make an extension, a base extension, whatever you want to call it, 1 space jump.
Okay.
And then
complete, pretty much.
Well, I think I just have the tiger's mouth, so now my understanding is to complete the Joseki, I want to jump out. I believe it would be 3 spaces from the jaw of the 3 spaces from the middle stone of the tiger's mouth.
It's so on the 3rd line,
I
right?
think. Yes.
Okay.
Oh, it's my turn?
Yep.
Okay, then I shall Oh, where am I going? I will do a Knight's Approach on the bottom right-hand corner.
From your side or from his side?
Splitting the two black groups.
I will do a Knight's Move pullback.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I shall attach to the 4/4. So I'll play, attach the 4/4.
So this is a Joseki I like to call the official Joseki of the Mission Viejo Go Club, because we all do it all the time.
Oh, really?
Basically, yeah. So in this one, I'm going to Hane away from his stones. Yeah. Hane sort of toward the corner.
Yeah.
And I guess there's a couple ways to go.
Yeah, we're going to complete the Joseki, so I will respond with the common Joseki, which is, I think it's to Hane again.
Double Hane.
His Hane.
Yeah, double Hane.
Yeah.
And then I Atari the stone that first attached.
Yep, I will connect.
And I will connect on top.
Yep.
And I will pull back to connect my stones up.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to push. I guess it would be upward.
Yeah,
there's a single stone. Yeah. So sort of optional add-on to this.
There's like the two options for this Joseki, where you either take the territory or you push up.
Yeah.
And then I will. Let's see. What is it? So did you Hane my single stone? That's what you did?
Yeah,
it's not a Hane necessarily, but yeah.
It's a push?
It's a connected Hane.
Yeah, it's a push.
Yeah, it's a push.
It's a push? Okay, and then I will pull back.
Okay, extend.
Yep.
Well, I'm waiting for the moment this goes off Joseki. Because you guys are just going Joseki right now.
Yeah. I gotta go to that bottom left corner. I'm going to approach it. I'm going to do a Knight's Move that's basically 3 spaces from the bottom.
Okay, sorry. That way. I stepped away for a second to let my cat in. What was that? You went on the bottom left? You approached on the bottom left?
Yeah, approaching the bottom left.
Was that a Knight's approach or a high approach?
Low Knight's approach.
Low Knight's approach. Okay.
So it's 3 spaces away from the bottom line.
Okay.
What do you mean by 3 spaces? You mean it's on the third line?
Third line, yeah.
Third line, yeah. That's what I meant. Now we could just do the same Joseki.
Yeah, we could. Let's see. I'm trying to remember what's on the bottom right. We just settled that group, right? 1, 2, 3,
yes.
4, 5, 6, 7.
And I think
and I still think I need to make a base in that middle. So I'm going to make a base, and it's going to be 1, 2. It's going to be third line on the center point on the right side.
On the right side, third line, center point. So it's an
extension.
How many spaces from your extension?
No idea. It's just
okay.
Underneath that third line.
It's in the middle, right?
It's in the middle. It's in the middle.
Yeah, it's in the middle, right?
Yeah. I still need to settle that side. So.
I will. I'm going to do like a Knight's Move enclosure on the top right.
Knight's Move enclosure.
It's not like a full enclosure, you know?
Yeah.
But it's a partial enclosure.
On which side? Top. On the top right.
Put the stone closer to the top line.
Okay.
Is it top? So you're moving away from the center stone?
Yeah, I'm moving away from the stone that you just played.
Okay. Okay, well, I guess I will do a knight's approach on the top right.
Okay.
I'm going to go to the bottom left, and I'm going to do a one space approach on the fourth line from the top.
I see. Okay.
So it's like an asymmetrical surrounding.
Yeah, it's a high approach. One space.
I'm gonna counter pincer that high approach. High counter.
High
so I'm
pincer.
gonna do it on the. Let's see. He did a one space. I'm gonna do a high counter.
Yeah, on the fourth line, so parallel.
On the fourth line. Let's see. 2 spaces from his stone on the fourth line.
Oh, okay.
So it's a high long pincer. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to 3/3 on the bottom left.
Okay. You guys are doing great. Actually, this is a lot longer than I thought it would go.
Yeah, but I do think we are approaching the point where it's going to start falling.
Yeah, I can see on the board. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't know if...
There's a lot going on now.
There is a lot. And I'm going to invade 3/3 top right.
Tanuki.
Huh. All right. I'm going to sort of block on
yeah,
it's going to be on the third line from the right side, separating. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to Hane the block.
Okay.
We definitely need to fast forward this.
Yeah,
nah, it's
and there's no way.
Yeah,
I could try and figure out what the ladder would look like. I'm thinking of honeying. But if I could sit here for like 20 minutes and probably come to a conclusion about whether that ladder works.
Oh, I mean, there's no time control on this game
I personally don't think the ladder is going to work because I still have the 4/4 stone on the bottom left. So if we ladder, I think my 4/4 stone is still in the way.
I think
don't even know what ladder you guys are talking about.
Well, so here's what I'm thinking, right? If I Haned, he had Haned, so I'm going to counter Hane and try to contain that whole thing in the
I'm going to seal that in as your move.
Okay, yeah, just make that my move. I think it's a bad move because I think Tin's right about the ladder. But I'm
gonna ladder. Oh, I want to see what this ladder you guys are talking about.
No, he's thinking that I would cut him right away. I think he forgot that I still needed to connect.
Oh yeah,
right away or eventually, right?
Eventually, so the follow up, if I connected, is then you would connect, and then I would do a knight's move,
and then you get the corner
away. So I get the corner.
Yeah. So I was thinking, could I not give you the corner?
Yeah,
but I think I have given you the.
Do you want to reconsider your move, Sean?
Let me think about.
Or what we can do is we can just stop it here and see who's in the lead.
I wanted to get to the point where you guys couldn't even think?
Can I just tell you that I can't think anymore?
Let's keep going.
Play this corner out first. Let's play this corner out first.
I'm gonna keep that move.
Okay, then I'll do the Josei, so I'll connect. Draw on your move.
Right. I'm gonna play Tengen.
Okay, now I'm done.
Okay. All right. I'll show you guys the board.
I think, Sean, you were in the lead just because the bottom left, it was in your control.
Bottom left, I think you might have... I wouldn't have Tanuki'd there after the approach.
Yeah. I couldn't remember what was on the top left, so... yeah, I wasn't sure what I was doing in general.
Yeah, I didn't know about the stone that's about to cut me. For some reason I thought that wasn't there.
Oh, you forgot about that one.
Yeah.
I thought, I'll just play Tengen and then the ladder should work now.
Mm-hmm.
And also it'll be funny.
I think the move that I saw was like a sign that I was going off the rails was the counter pincer, like as a shoulder hit. Like I don't think you realized that was a shoulder hit either.
I remember there was an extension there from Sean's group. So I knew Sean's group was in that area. I just forgot if it was on the third or the fourth line.
Uh-huh.
I knew something was there. So I wanted to see what would happen, in essence.
Wow.
So I don't know how to respond to the Knight's approach and the high approach at the same time. So the counter, the double approach onto the corners. So I don't really know how to respond to that. So I was like, okay, well, if that's the case, then we're going to try to do an influence game just because Sean took a lot of third line territories. So I was like, okay, I'll take fourth line. So
yeah, I haven't seen that actually in my games either. Like the one on one side it's a Knights, and then the other side it's just a one space approach.
Yeah, no.
I would have maybe attached underneath the one space.
Yeah, maybe. But a lot of our one of our club members plays this a lot, and I never really knew how to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, he just turns around and then you play like Akira Toria?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
So yeah, I think Sean was winning. So yeah, good game, Sean.
Thank you.
Good game. Mm-hmm. Yeah, good game. That was fun. Why don't we take a quick break and we'll reconvene. All right, so I think that was a really fun little... Hopefully some of the listeners could imagine the board themselves and could kibitz while you guys were playing. I know some of the listeners were probably just like, I don't know what's going on. But it's a 50-50 probably. Some of them were probably very engaged with whatever was happening. I'm actually... I can't even like... feel how difficult it is because I was recording the game, so I was looking at it at all times. But have you guys played One Color Go?
No, but I played Blind Go before.
Do you know what One Color Go is?
No.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So for Sean, you just basically you're playing a game and both of you use the same color stones, and so like it's a little bit of a easier version of what you guys were doing because you at least know where the stones are. But eventually the stones start filling out the board and it's just impossible. It's a fun variation. Okay, so it's time for the DDK advice corner. And the tip of the day is punish Gote captures by not engaging. So this is like when you have like a stone that's like pretty much captured but not exactly captured, and it's like you've pretty much given up on it already, but your opponent hasn't captured it yet, and you're playing, and then your opponent decides to put a move in there to capture that stone. My advice here is instead of fighting there and just like continuing and responding to that move, take that opportunity, since that stone is not going to be very easy to take care of, take that opportunity to take some other move somewhere else that will give you more value than trying to fight and escape with that stone. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, well, it's time for listener mail. All right. Rach writes, "Hi, Justin. I've never played Scorched Earth style Go, but in my experience, many Fox opponents play like that. This style of play is really annoying for me personally, and it often results in me playing too emotional and unreasonable as a direct response. Regarding the topic of spending a move, typically on Gote, to fix when in doubt, or making super sure a group from our opponent is dead, I do not agree. I think this approach can prevent or slow down progress in the long run." So I want to clarify what I meant by spending a move to fix. And it's really context dependent. Maybe you still disagree, but I want to clarify that let's say that you have a move that you can use to play in Gote to fix and 100% seal the victory. Let's say you're winning, but you could maybe lose if you lose this group. Spending a move on that and in Gote is what I would recommend. Like, even though you know it's a bad move, if you're gonna win the game, if you let that group live, I would say play the Gote move and seal the victory. If it's a situation where you're earlier on the game, you don't know who's gonna win, especially if you're behind, definitely don't play that Gote move. What do you guys think?
I would say always defend your groups. That's just good practice, good habit. It's going to be. But
what if it's like a Gote move that you don't necessarily need? Sometimes you like a defense move that maybe the group is fine already.
So if the group is absolutely fine, then you don't really need to spend a move to making sure it's double fine.
Well, not right? Absolutely fine, but like 90% sure. And if it is fine, you win.
I think the question might be, well, because if you're already having a 90% confidence that your group is fine, then it makes sense just to play elsewhere on the board.
Yeah.
It's only when you're around like 60, 40, 60% sure, like you're not sure if it's fine, you want to play somewhere else, but at the same time you have this like inkling feeling that you need to come back and protect. And so I would say if you're ever in that scenario where you kind of feel like, oh man, I probably should go back and defend soon, then you should just defend first and then take a bigger move elsewhere. At least that's how I would feel comfortable playing a game.
Yeah, I guess it depends on that level of certainty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
I guess my
at 90%, if you're 90% certain that your group is absolutely fine, then it really doesn't make sense to go back and defend.
Actually, I think Rach might elaborate here. So continuing, okay. I think we should always trust our reading. If we cannot clearly read that one of our groups is alive, if we would Tanuki, then we should not add a security move. Same for the potential dead group of our opponent. If we cannot clearly see how they would live if we Tanuki, then we should not add another move. I lost a few games by 0.5 because of those paranoid or security moves. Very painful. Okay, so this is the case where I would say, if the game is that close, then yes, you need to be 100% efficient with your moves, and you need to read and see if you can't be playing Gote paranoid moves in that situation. So my example is you're winning the game, but you have a paranoid part of the board where if you lose that part of the board, like you basically everything you've worked for is undone. And I'm thinking in that situation, if you have no other like crazy big moves to play, that's perfectly fine move to play. It's just my thought. I just realized. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree. So if you can't find any other moves to play and you're looking around the board and there's no other moves that you like, then go back and defend if you're still paranoid about that area.
Well, let me put it this way then. What about, let's say you have that paranoid move that's a very critical group, but it's a paranoid move. And then the other move that you're considering, it's like a 5-point move.
Well, then, at that point, we better hope that we're good at counting.
No, but like you're up by like 20 points.
Oh, you're up by 20 points. Well, if it's a 5-point move, then if you're able to sacrifice 5 points just to ensure victory, then just take the victory move.
Yeah, okay, that's kind of what I was trying to get at, basically. Yeah. And then to finish off, I just realized, but this also goes back to the proverb of when in doubt, tanuki. I never read it that way before. I only related the proverb to general fuseki and middle game decision making. We should always trust in our reading. If we are wrong, then this is just a reflection of our reading level and we have to accept it. The constant self-doubt does not help us getting stronger. Cheers, Rach. I think that's an attitude a lot of Go players have. Basically, it's everything that we do in the game, it's in service of a higher goal of getting better and understanding the game more, rather than winning. But yeah, I don't know. I think you have to have, like, let's say it's like a tournament game. Like, if it's a tournament game, a lot of stuff on the line, and you just want to win that game, there's certain things you got to do that may not always be in service of like trusting yourself and like, oh, I want to be punished for not reading this correctly, or not being able to read this situation. I should deserve to lose this game so that I can learn my lesson. I don't know if I agree with that. Okay, so for the next listener mail, we got Breno writing in. Hi, Justin. I recently discovered your Startpoint podcast and have since then been binging on it. Thanks for doing this. Well, thanks for binging on Startpoint. Several episodes ago, you spoke about reasons to get a Go teacher. Specifically, you named one teacher you had some time ago named Kaz. Your episode inspired me to look him up, and I'm considering taking lessons with him. Before I do so, though, and because his fees are quite high, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you how your experience with him was. In the episode, you pointed out a few things you liked about his teaching approach. How long did you take lessons with him? Were you able to get some tangible improvement from them? And lastly, would you recommend him for someone who's still fairly early in his journey? I'm currently 12Q, having begun my Go journey a few months ago in my early 40s. Thanks so much in advance for any advice or suggestion. Best, Breno. So yeah, I took a couple lessons from a teacher in Japan who was a former Insei named Kaz. And what I really liked about his approach was that it was like a correspondence approach. So basically you sent him your games and he would review them. He would make problems for you, send them back. There was no like Skype meeting. Well, I don't know why I'm saying Skype nowadays. But basically there's no video call or anything like that. And so that was very good for me because it was flexible on time. He made really good... So here's the caveat though, with Kaz. I don't know if he's doing the same thing because I've taken lessons with him twice. And I don't know what his like price model is now. I know he has like a package deal. I did not take a package deal. I just did like the individual lesson. And he when he did it with me, he asked me a bunch of problem questions. He sent me a bunch of SGF to clarify what I understood. And that was a big thing that I really liked. And then I submitted my answers and he would ask me like the reasoning behind what I thought was the best move and things like that. And from that, he made more problems like to aim at the diagnosis he made and solve whatever I was struggling with. With Kaz and with any other Go teacher, you really get as much as you put in. And if you put in the study and learn, I think one of the lessons that he taught me definitely made me stronger, and I still remember it to this day. But at your level, you've just started. I don't know. I guess it depends on how much you're willing to commit. I think you have a lot of room for growth by just playing. I think for me, at least, I go and search for a teacher when I feel stuck and I haven't been improving and I need to re-engage myself. Have you guys had a similar experience with a teacher where like you feel like you need to use the teacher to get past your plateau, or do you think it's more of just like anyone should have a teacher all the time?
My situation was different just because I didn't know how to play Go initially, and I was streaming the game back in the day. And so it was actually someone from the community reached out to me, and actually multiple of them, but they were pretty much giving me teaching games at the very beginning. I lost all of those. And then another streamer came in who is a mutual mentor to both Sean and myself. and he was the one that gave me my first 10 to 12 lessons, and that really solidified a foundation for me to start. I would highly recommend just finding a teacher for like the first 3 or 4 lessons if you're just starting to learn the game, because it does take a lot of effort just to kind of get to know the game itself.
Yeah. Well, Breno is just 12Q, so he's definitely beyond
okay,
that.
So he so finding a teacher, I would still recommend at least in the double-digit Q range. And there's some teachers, like the teacher that I went with, his name is Daniel MLO1. He streams there. He charges $10 a lesson. So, and it's a personalized lesson. There's other teachers that I've known to charge $40, $50. Some goes up to $60. So, just to start out with, you know, I would say do it, just because it does speed up a lot. I'm pretty sure if I just did it on my own, I wouldn't have improved that fast. I probably would still be a double-digit Q right now. If
there's
I did
definitely
all
other options, like cheaper options maybe than Kaz.
Yeah.
Kaz is because he's a former Insta, he can charge the big bucks.
Yeah.
I believe also like Vadim from Go Magic also does game reviews, and things like there's.
I mean, Michael Redmond does game reviews for $50 a game. So you know, if you want a pro look at your game, it's awesome.
And then if you're not shy about talking to people you meet online, like pretty much anyone will be down to give you some tips. And then to wrap it up, Sadaharu writes, maybe another way to describe Scorched Earth Go is whatever that is mine, whatever that is yours is also mine. Yeah, that's basically what I was getting at for sure with Scorched Earth Go. Thanks for rating it. And then My Boy writes, just in time for a slow day at work. Thanks always for listening. The question of the week this week is, have you tried Blind Go like we did in this episode? Were you able to follow along? I want to know your experience with that. So if you want to share your thoughts on this question, you have a Go story to share, or have a question you want to ask me, you can comment on YouTube or the Reddit post for this episode, or you can email me directly at starpointbaduk@gmail.com. That's starpointbaduk@gmail.com. And if you're a YouTube listener, I would greatly appreciate a like and or subscribe. If you're a podcast listener, reviews and ratings also help. A very special thank you to Bellicose and Tristan for supporting Starpoint. If you want to support the show in any capacity, you can go to kofi.com/starpointpaduk. I got a joke for you guys to close the episode out. Why do you need to keep a close eye on kids who play Go?
So that they don't poke their eyes out?
That's a good one. I always like when you guys come up with more punchlines than the one I have.
Oh. I think Sean's stumped.
Yeah, I'm stumped.
Because they always want to play on the intersections.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. Thanks so much for coming in, guys. And thanks for listening, everyone. Please keep playing Go.